Hello, and welcome to the Mental Transformation YouTube channel. Today's topic is insecurity. Why does insecurity arise? What can we do to overcome it? Today I'll talk to you about these. Insecurity is a problem that feels like there's a worm inside you, constantly gnawing at you. Whenever you want to do something, create something, or express yourself, that worm appears and stops you from doing it. A person with a confidence problem might know the answer in class, but can't raise their hand to speak up. They might be unable to tell the person they love, even if they've been in love for a long time. Even though they succeed at work, they can't show it. They struggle to say no to things they don't want, and before they know it, they've said yes to many things they didn't really want. Because of these issues, they get much less out of life than they deserve, and a confidence problem emerges. This can lead to feelings of worthlessness and depression because they haven't received what they truly deserve. Now, I don't want to dive too deeply into the causes of insecurity in this video, but I can briefly say this. At its core, insecurity is rooted in feelings of inadequacy and worthlessness. So let's talk about the process of insecurity. How does this problematic process unfold? As I mentioned earlier, it feels like there's a worm inside, but we can also describe it as an inner critical voice. There's another version of us inside, constantly nagging and talking. Imagine you're in class, and the teacher asks a question. You know the answer and are about to raise your hand. That critical voice inside starts smirking in the corner, saying things like, "Do you really think you know it? What do you think you're doing? Say something wrong and see what happens. You'll make a fool of yourself." This inner voice scratches away at our confidence, constantly chipping away, telling us everything to break our courage. If we suffer from a confidence problem, recognizing this critical voice is crucial. What is it saying? When does it come up? It's as if this voice is independent of us, like a tumor in our mind, constantly blocking our actions. If we want to overcome insecurity, we first need to be aware of this critical voice, then minimize its importance and focus on what we want to do. One of our biggest mistakes is listening too much to this inner voice, treating it like a friend, and believing everything it says is true. The first step is to recognize that this voice is not our friend and that what it says is not the truth. At first, it may not be possible to silence this voice. No matter what you do, it will keep nagging. So instead of fighting it, we need to put it aside and focus on our goals. The first thing we need to do is identify what we want to do in life but are afraid to pursue. Sit down at a table and write them out. What are you afraid of doing? What do you want to do but avoid because of insecurity? It's important to list them all. Once you've written them out, assign each item a score from 1 to 10. 10 represents your most feared scenario, the one that causes the most anxiety. Imagine singing in front of 1,000,000 people, for example. For simpler problems, you might give them a 1 or a 2. After you've listed 20 things, for instance, start tackling them from easiest to hardest. At first, you might ask yourself, how am I going to do this? Anxiety will be there, but you can handle it. What we need here is willpower. Once you muster the will, energy will follow. Start with the easiest task. It may not be easy, but you have to start somewhere. You've identified what scares you, and now you're doing it. What else can you do to build on this? I'd like to give a few examples, even if they might sound silly or ridiculous. Identify a luxury store in your city and go there with no money in your pocket. It's important to go without money because otherwise you might end up buying something under pressure from the salesperson. Go into the luxury store, try on 3 or 4 outfits, change into them, and then leave without buying anything. It'll be tough, but once you've done it, you'll have overcome that psychological pressure and you'll feel more accomplished. Another example. When you get on a bus or subway, ask aloud, "Does anyone have an extra card?" Put yourself in a situation where others can hear you asking for help. At first, it'll be hard. You might think people will judge you as poor or lowly, but after doing it, you'll realize it wasn't as bad as you imagined. People with confidence issues also find it hard to meet new people. Instead of overthinking what to say or how to start, Talk to the elderly men sitting in the park or the shopkeepers you frequently see. You might ask yourself, what am I going to talk about? There's so much you can ask about their car, their hometown, their kids, their grandkids. It's important to start a conversation with someone you don't know. Over time, as you face your fears and step out of your comfort zone, you'll notice the changes within yourself. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. See you soon.